Most people start the year with gym memberships and vision boards, and they ignore that one area that impacts everything, their finances. In this video, I'll show you the 5 moves that saved one busy family over $10,000 last year. No second job, no skipping those lattes. If you're a dual income family and money still feels on autopilot, this is your January checklist. Every January, I see the same thing. Families come in, they're stressed, they feel behind, and they're frustrated because they feel like they make good money, yet somehow it never feels like enough. Does that sound familiar? They're not reckless. They're not irresponsible. Money is just running on autopilot. But the families who get real momentum every year do this one thing differently. They start with clarity. Let me walk you through the exact 5 steps they take using a family that I worked with. Let's call them Jake and Emily. 2 working parents with 2 kids making around $250,000 a year. Their schedules are busy because they're running the 2 kids to 2 different sports while trying to make time for themselves. And at the start of 2025, they felt stuck. So here's the first step. Review last year's spending and realign it with your values. This is a non-negotiable. If you don't know where your money went last year, then you're guessing this year. Jake and Emily pulled their spending by category and asked one simple question. Does this match what we say we care about? They weren't overspending on travel or family time. They were overspending on autopilot. Food delivery, those random online purchases, and the subscriptions that they barely used or didn't even know they were paying for. The key takeaway here is don't cut everything. Reallocate. They spent less on things that didn't matter and more on things that did. And that one step alone freed up cash and lowered their stress. And if you do nothing else that I talk about, do this one thing. Clarity always comes first. Now, let's talk about step 2. Increase your savings rate even by just 1%. Most people wait for a perfect time to save more. Newsflash, that time never comes. Jake and Emily increased their savings rate by about 1 to 2%. That's it. And when Jake got a raise, they didn't immediately upgrade their lifestyle. They locked in a higher savings rate first. Small increases matter more than big intentions. That small bump added up over their year. Their emergency fund became fully funded. Unexpected expenses stopped feeling like emergencies, and progress finally felt visible. Now, step 3, get intentional with your tax advantage accounts early in the year. Most people think about taxes in like March or April, but smart planning happens in January. Jake and Emily automated their 401k contributions. They mapped out their retirement contributions, and they stopped treating their HSA like a checking account. So instead of spending the HSA as bills came up, Emily paid small medical expenses out of pocket and let the HSA grow. Tax planning isn't about April. It's about decisions you make all year long. That one shift lowered their tax bill and created flexibility for the future. On to step 4. Make sure your investment strategy actually matches your life today. Jake and Emily's investments, they weren't bad, but they were outdated. Their portfolio was built for an older version of their life, before kids, before new goals, before different timelines. They reviewed their allocation. They asked, does this still make sense for where we're going? Your investments should reflect your timeline, not the market headlines. And once their strategy matched their life, they stopped stressing over every market swing. Confidence replaced anxiety. And finally, step 5, the one that ties all of this together. You have to set one clear family financial goal for the year. Not 10 goals, not some vague resolution, one clear goal. For Jake and Emily, it wasn't to save more money. It was very specific. Set aside $12,000 for a family trip and experiences. And because it was clear, it was actionable. They automated their savings, they tracked their progress, and they celebrated milestones throughout the year. Money works best when it has a purpose. And by the end of the year, they took that meaningful family trip without guilt and stayed on track long term. Here's the big picture. By the end of 2025, Jake and Emily weren't magically richer. Their income didn't double. Life all of a sudden didn't become perfect, but they were calmer. They were more organized. They were more intentional. And that's what most families are actually missing. Not income, but direction. Hope isn't a plan. Motivation fades, but clarity changes everything. So let's quickly recap the 5 things you must do to start 2026 financially strong. Step 1, review last year's spending and realign it with your values. Step 2, increase your savings rate even slightly. Step 3, get intentional with tax advantage accounts early. Step 4, align your investments with your life today. And then step 5, set one clear family financial goal. You do these 5 things early and you don't just start the year right, you change how the entire year feels. And if you want to understand why so many people never do these things in the first place, watch the video on the screen. Financial Advisor debunks the 5 biggest money myths. This is where I break down the beliefs that keep people stuck, stressed, and broke.